Okay, hey class. So you're all about to start your positioning and draping skill comps. And there is going to be a soap note that goes along with this skill comp. So after the skill comp is performed and you pass it, you have to write a soap note based on what you did. So I wanted, and that rubric, there is a rubric up um, under positioning and draping folder on Blackboard. And the rubric is up, but I wanted to go through it with you on a video so you know, have a little bit better idea of what Dr. D and I are expecting as far as a soap note for this. Because this is a basic treatment we're doing, but it's not going to be a lot of detail. But we'll let you know what some things you need to fill in and make up. So the first section of your soap note, and you have this on Blackboard, so you can look at this on your own. I'm reading from it word for word, is your heading of your soap note. So that's going to where you put your patient's name, their date of birth, and that'll be what you ask them. You want to put to the date of treatment, which will be the day that you do your skill comp. And then you're going to treat it like it's a real treatment. So you're going to put a time in and time out. Now you can make up a treatment time. You can put like 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. or 10:30 to 11 a.m. or whatever. Or you can make up a time. Make it like 30 minutes or an hour or 15 minutes or something like that. So that's the basis of your heading. And if you do know a medical diagnosis from your, or any kind of diagnosis from your scenarios you draw, you can put that in your heading. If not, just look at your cards and you can make one up from that. And if not, if you can't figure one out, then just leave it out. It's okay for now. But later on, you'll need to do that. Okay, then you have your subjective section. Remember, that's your S of your soap note. Okay, so here, this is where you're going to ask you're going to put information about why the patient is there for therapy and what their chief complaints are and any pain that they're having. So you need to ask them about their pain. You need to ask them what is going on and what their diagnosis is giving them trouble doing in their daily life. And any other information that the patient gives you, you write that in your subjective section. Okay, your objective section is the next section. Now for tomorrow, for this comp, you're going to be doing 2 positionings and 2 drapings. So you do need to document that you put somebody in, you position somebody for protective positioning in supine and sideline using pillows and towels. Now, I don't need to know that you did supine positioning, and you do not need to tell me every single pillow and towel and place that you put. If you put that you place the patient in protective positioning in supine to protect for pressure sores, that is understood in medical language what you padded and what you floated. Okay, so don't tell me every place that you padded and floated, because it's going to be a book if you do on your positioning. Now for your draping, you will have a little bit more information to put on your draping. You will put the body part, and you will put if there's a diagnosis given, and you will put also the procedure you're doing. So if we say that we want you to do massage to the upper traps, you'll say upper traps were exposed and patient was modestly draped, and massage was given to upper trap due to upper trap tightness and soreness, something like that. Okay, so you're going to talk about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So there should be a little bit of a why to the reason why you're doing the draping. So maybe it's electrical stimulation, maybe it's ultrasound. Your scenario will say. So we've given that for you to put in your soap note. So we're not asking you to make that up. Don't worry about that. And then any education you gave your patient, anything like that. Okay, then you go into your subjective section. I'm sorry, we already did that. Next, you go into your assessment section. Okay, this is where this is the trickiest section of a soap note when people are learning. That's okay. So in the SOAP note, in the assessment, I mean, you're going to put the patient's tolerance and performance during your session. So were they able to tolerate being in the supine position? Were they able to tolerate being able to be put in the sideline or the prone position? Was it comfortable for them? And then when you drape them, were they able to be draped appropriately and modestly and felt comfortable with you doing that? That's where you're going to put in the assessment section. Okay. You're going to say if your patient had any pain, you're going to make something up now. If your patient had any pain relief from the things you did in your session, which will be, given to you in your scenario, make something up. Say patient had less pain after a session, or patient was able to have improved range of motion after the session, something like that. We need to see if something that changed during the session, and you can try to make that up as best you can. Now we know you're newbie, so if you're having trouble with that, just do your very, very best. And then how was your patient after the session? Have they improved? Are they in less pain? Those kind of things. And then also one other thing to put in your assessment section is, does your patient need to continue skilled physical therapy? So think of it like this. Does this patient still have things going on with them that they need to continue to see a skilled PTA or PT for? Or is it something that they could do at home on their own home program? So we always need to say something like, the patient include a sentence or two, something like this. The patient will continue to benefit or continue from skilled physical therapy to address blank, 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 whatever the problem is, shoulder pain or low back pain or knee pain or whatever we tell you your diagnosis is in your cards, okay, in your scenario you draw. You want to say that for that, and then give a reason why, in order to let them get back to work, in order to let them get back to school, in order to let them get back to their hobbies, things like that. And then a plan section, plans for this next session. So just add something on, like say, don't give me a plan that says continue plan of care and leave it at that, because I will not accept that. You can say continue plan of care, but you better give me something else after that. You better say, add on something to the next session. So you can say, you can make something up. Add lower extremity strengthening to next program, or increase weights on upper extremity machine flexion or bicep curls, or use more resistive TheraBand during lower extremity activities. Those types of things, something like that, something that you want to change and do new the next session. Okay. So I know that's all new to you. Get through it the best you can. And the very last thing that you have to do, which, believe it or not, is the easiest part to do, but it's often forgot all the time, and we're going to get you for it every time. You've got to sign your name, so your signature, just like you would always sign your name, followed by the letters SPTA, all in caps. That stands for Physical Therapist Assistant, Student Physical Therapist Assistant. And then under your signature, print your name so that it's legible, because half of our signatures are not legible, especially mine. So we need to print our signatures print our name under our signature so that's legible. And that's a basic SOAP note. So this will be a very basic note, but take your time on it. I'm not going to, since everybody's taking this this comp at a different time, I'm not going to put a due date on it quite yet, but just make sure that you get this. It's got to be done when it's fresh on your mind. So the positioning, each day that you do your comp, your rubric or your note will be due that day, or that day by midnight. Okay. So, and there is a submission link on Blackboard. So if you are signed up in a week or two and you want to maybe run through this with a partner as a practice and then practice writing a note and let me see it. I can give you tips and hints. I can't really grade you for it and say, yes, do it this way, or don't do it that way. But I can give you tips to guide you in the right direction. Okay. So be sure to look at the example soap note on Blackboard, and then after you've listened to my video, or go through them at the same time and it'll help you explain it. Okay. Good luck on your comp, everybody.